So there's a reason that in Iran, most people know this, but there's a reason that they shout death to America. And I looked up the history, and this is because of somebody, I was going back and forth with somebody on YouTube because I thought they were some fact checker. Because I don't know if people have seen, like the media is trying, the fact checkers in the media are trying to gain some legitimacy by saying that a video that people are using from 2020 when the Iran parliament was chanting death to America, that because people have used that, like they're trying to make people think it's now. It doesn't, first of all, it doesn't matter when it is. They've been chanting that shit since 1979, okay? Which is what I'm going to get into. So I was going back and forth with this person. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, how many times do you see it? They do it all the time, whether it's the newspaper or the news. They used old footage, but it's for something current. Yet the fact checkers are coming along saying, yeah, this is how much people are pushing misinformation. No, it's not misinformation. 3 days ago, people in Iran were on the street calling for the death of America, the death of Israel, okay? That's not the innocent Iranian people. It's not. That's the people from parliament. Just because they moved their death to America chant outside doesn't mean, like, they've done this since 1979 is my point. Like, the bigger picture here should be, this is a problem. Like, it should have, I mean, it's always been a problem. I have always thought, why would people, like, call for the death of an entire country? Well, this would be part of, so this made me look into the history. So it does go back to 1970. And part of it is that Iran sees America as the great Satan. Not the only Satan, but we're the great Satan. I don't know that you can really disagree with that, but I only say that it doesn't justify the terrorist organizations in Palestine that's running them, or the terrorist organization in Israel that's running the government. I mean, they're running them, and it does, or in Iran. These are terrorist organizations, and the reason I say there's some legitimacy to saying we're the great Satan is because the CIA got in there back in the day. And wanted, and it's always the past few years, every time I read about why the military goes in or the CIA, it's because, we were worried about communism. And then they go in there and they F it up more, okay? That's what they do. They make things worse. I think they deliberately make things worse because then it gives those people that are like just hungry for the Hunger Games of war to, we got to go to war with this one. We got to go to, they just, like, they go in and they make things disastrous for these countries. Then these countries come to hate us decades after decades. You kind of can't blame them because of our CIA, because of our corrupt government. But yet at the same time, you have to separate the innocent people in Iran from their terrorist government. Like, would anybody in this country, unless you're, in the universities and out of your mind, the higher educated, I mean, would you want Joe Biden, like, do you look at Joe Biden as a representation of what America is? No. That's not at all what a representation of America is. That's the representation of the enemy to this country. But the same can be said for the government in Iran to their people. That's why the Iranians have been rising up against their government. So when the parliament decides to take their death to America chant outside, it's still them doing it. They've been doing it since 1979, okay? So this is how desperate the media and fact checkers are, though. So you have to separate, because that, honest to God, that is what we are seeing in every country. I mean, all the main ones on stage right now. The Palestinians, they have a corrupt government. They have a terrorist organization. They always have as their government. That's why they're still in refugee camps. The Iranians have been rising up. They know it's their government. They don't think it's America. The only people that are chanting that America is this horrible is the terrorist groups themselves that our CIA seem to put in. Now, you can argue whether the Jewish people put it, who knows? But this is what Iran had to say. There was 3 Satans. We are the greater Satan. And then there's the little Satan and the lesser Satan. So the great Satan, Khomeini, who was a leader in Iran, stated this in 1979. America is the great Satan, the wounded snake. The term was used extensively during the Islamic Revolution, and it continues to be used in some Iranian political circles. Use of the term at rallies is often accompanied by Magaba Mamaka. I know I'm messing. I just thought I'd give a shot. Yeah, no, it just means death to America. It is used in academic journals. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's currently being playing out. That's how much the academic journals. What a joke. Anyway, then the lesser Satan. This was referring to the Soviet Union, the principal antagonist of the U.S. during the Cold War. The lesser Satan, because of its atheistic communist ideology, and he said that Iran should support neither side of the Cold War. That was Khomeini as well. So yeah, back then it probably was atheistic country because it was in a communist state. I'm talking about Russia. And then there's the little Satan. Well, this is Israel. The state of Israel was condemned as little Satan, but at the same time by Khomeini in '79, when he was addressing Israel's backing of the Shah, its close ties to the U.S., and the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Former Libyan leader Gaddafi also stated that Israel is the little Satan in a 1980 interview. So, that's then how we get here. Yeah, it's a caricature of the little Satan. But yeah, you see, it's the U.S. that's caused all the problems. I don't know that that's not true. I think this just pointing fingers doesn't. I think there's plenty of people to blame here, and the people to blame are the people running the governments that are willing to even let security just somehow not work, and a bunch of innocent Israelis get killed. Great way to create a war for decades and decades, so that one person or the terrorist organizations that have been working with Netanyahu, so he doesn't have to go to jail. That's what it is. That's what it is. They will. That's how sick these people are. They are psychopaths. Okay. They literally. I mean, I know that for some people maybe that are just coming, to awake to some of this, that seems hard to believe. Yeah, not everybody is like you, really. These people will do anything. They will sacrifice their own. In fact, I would say they enjoy it. Look at what Joe Biden's doing to us. Look at not just Joe Biden, look at what AOC, all the Democrat Party and most of the Republicans who are just acting like, there's nothing going on. Okay, and so you can see that they will eat their young. Throw you to the wolves. They don't care. And so there's people rising up against their governments. So when these universities, see what role the universities played. They played a role for the military-industrial complex to create a constant strife and difficulty, and the military-industrial complex is all aligned with George Soros and all that. But they're the sick people. Yeah. So none of the innocent Palestinians want to be represented by the terrorist organization that they call their government, because it's Hamas. Most of the Israeli Jews that are innocent they've been protesting their government, Netanyahu, because he's no different than the terrorist organizations. Especially, seriously, he wants a reason to push his trials back because of all of the charges and witnesses against him. And then you have Iran that's been being run by terrorist organizations since their founding, which is hurting their innocent people. And their innocent people aren't getting on the street calling for the death of America. It's their clerics and all that there. But because their mosques have been emptying out, they don't have the following there anymore like they used to. They're losing legitimacy because the Iranian people see the writing on the wall here. That's why Trump has been sometimes when he spoke to the UN, he supports the Iranian innocent people or the Israeli innocent people, the Palestinian Israeli people, because you have to separate those two. Because the problem with all of it is the corrupt terrorist organizations that all of our countries are being represented by right now.